everyone. This is Furley Almonte, your host for Faces of Resilience. Well, welcome to another life changing edition of Faces of Resilience, where we bring very inspiring leaders out there to share with you different tools, different stories that could actually help you change your lives. Actually, I met my guest at Top Talent JV Mastermind event with David Fagan, where he always brings the most incredible people in a group, people who are like minded. And I was very easily attracted to my guest because you can see her whole essence is pure. She is a chiropractor by trade, but she has gone through over and leaps and bounds on and transformed into something even more profound and magnificent. She is now a breakthrough coach, and also she's going to share with us amazing ways that you can begin to own your life and take the bull by the horn and own your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, straight from Costa Rica, Dr. Chrys Ghiraldini.
Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction, Furley. I'm honored to be here. Yes, it was a quick match of energies during the Top Talent JV, and I am deeply honored to be here. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. My goodness. You know, when I saw you in the screen, I said like, oh, what a beautiful lady. And you can tell even from the way you smile that everything about you is just pure
Oh,
beauty
thank
and
you.
goodness. And I got to speak with you a little bit, and I would like for you to share with our audience. I know that you are now you have moved to Costa Rica, but where were you originally from?
I'm originally from Brazil. I lived in the United States for a couple of decades. I was in New York City for most of the time that I was in the United States. Then I moved to Austin, and then I met this wonderful group of people with Jonathan England as the founder of Earthquake University. And I joined them, I joined that movement, and they were about to come to Costa Rica. So here we are.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful journey. I am in New Jersey and you were in New York for 2 decades and we never met.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I know, right? But I guess it was not meant to be until now. Well, anyway, I would love for you to share with the audience a little background on your story. Maybe if you could condense it in like 5 minutes and just give us a little background on your journey on how you became a breakthrough coach. And actually, more importantly, what struggle did you go through that brought you to becoming a breakthrough coach?
Okay, thank you, Furley. Well, I was thinking about it after we set up our interview, and it's not like I had a super traumatic childhood or anything. What I do have and is this incredible desire to find what freedom actually is. So I
Mm,
moved, this is my fourth country. I lived in Canada for 2 years before going to the United States. So I was born in Brazil. I moved to Canada, could not take their really long and cold winters, moved to the United States, stayed there for a couple of decades, and I'm in Costa Rica. And the constant theme was to find freedom and to upgrade myself. And
freedom.
I changed and that was exactly what I was thinking. What is freedom? Freedom is sovereignty, is doing what you want to do when you want to do it with the people you want to do it with, and more important, move toward your connection, move closer toward your connection to God, source, high spirit, great spirit, however you define the intelligence that created us. We did not create ourselves. We don't start having a heartbeat. We don't start breathing. A higher intelligence created us. So it was basically my journey toward that deeper connection with pure source.
Yeah.
And
No, actually, let's stop right there for a moment because
mhm,
you speak very profoundly of your journey towards finding your true sense of freedom. What
Mm-hmm.
type of struggles do you see that ordinary people have that actually could align with their sense of quest for freedom? What struggles are those?
Yeah. Well, some people believe that if they achieve a certain amount of money or success, or if they get married and have kids and, a pink, a white fence picket fence or whatever, and 2.5 kids and one dog, they'll be happy. And it's a quest for happiness. We all want to be happy, and we do it in different ways. And throughout my journey, I realized that a lot of it was somebody else's idea of what I needed to do to be happy. So to have a degree, to be a doctor, to have a family, was it what I wanted? And every time I did not want to do whatever I was doing, I switched. So I switched countries, I switched careers, I switched houses, got divorced, got married first, of course, then got divorced. And so that's the journey, right? And it's basically to find that all we need is within ourselves. And
Hold
in
on.
this process,
You know,
yeah.
you just, that was really like an eye-opening moment. And I wanted to just take a couple of minutes for people to find themselves in what you described. A lot of us go through life because our parents taught us that this is what you need to go and do. Go to a school, get this degree, and be whatever they, because this is what the society defines us to be
Yeah,
successful, right? And
yeah,
also, just like what you described, there are married people there, people with, children. They have a beautiful home, they have great degrees, they have a dog, and yet they feel like something is missing because they're trying to fit in what the society has basically imposed upon us, that this
yeah,
is the picture perfect life. The
exactly.
like so I just wanted our audience to look into themselves and into their lives. Where are you right now? How have you lived your life? Have you lived it on other people's terms, or is it
Hmm.
really your choice? And I love how you said you moved to different countries because you were trying to find something. It's not just about the weather, but it was more about deep inside of you, a
Hmm.
connection. Okay, so
Hmm.
now here are these people who just realized, oh my gosh, I've been living my life on other people's terms. Now, what do they need to do? Like, because you do have a process that would help them break through and take sovereignty. I love the word that you use, sovereignty, in their
Yeah.
lives.
Well, first of all, if you ask people what they want, they will give you all the things that they don't want. I don't want this, I don't want that. Because
Mhm.
we are programmed to be seeing life from a negative standpoint. So this is normal. And it's very hard for people to define what is it that they want. It was hard for me to define. I wanted freedom. I wanted a deeper connection with uh, pure source, and I wanted a whole bunch of things, and I didn't want a whole bunch of other things, and I achieved a whole bunch of things, and not none of that brought me joy. Actually, the more I had, the more burdened I felt. It's like, this is
Wow.
really messed up. Yeah, because then you have
You,
you have a house, you have a mortgage, you have a car, you have the car payment, and then you have insurance for both of these things. I'm like, oh my god, this is getting crazier and crazier by the minute.
oh my God, I can just imagine people saying, "Oh my God, that is so true." Oftentimes, like actually in one of the trainings that I've attended before, they were saying, "Don't think of a house or a car as an asset. If you're paying for it, it's a liability." Just like what you said, it's an
Absolutely.
obligation. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, as Dr. Wayne Dyer once said. Right?
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love how
And
you. I
yeah, and
love.
there is nothing wrong on having a house and a car, but what is it that the house gives you? The house usually gives you a sense of security. What is
Mm,
it that the car gives you? A sense of freedom. So that's the seven. a layer deep questioning that what is it that you want and why. So I want a house. Why? Because I want to have a place for me and my family. Yeah. Why? Because I want them to be taken care of. Why? Because that would make me feel good about myself. Why? Because then I would be responsible. And what does that bring you? Does that bring you security? Yeah. So you keep going down and down and down until you find the feeling that you get when you have this or that. And so, from that standpoint, you can actually have the things without the things having you, because now
Mm.
you know that what
I
you
love
are
that.
looking for
I love what you
is.
just said. Okay, stop. Stop for a moment
Mhm.
because I love what you just said. Just repeat that. You can have the things without the
But
things having you.
having you.
Okay,
So that
explain that.
means, yeah, that means if you lose your car, you still have your freedom. But at first, it will look like, oh my God, I am a failure. And that's where the breakthrough process is so powerful, because it allows you to reframe your reality from the truth of who and whose you are. And who and whose you are is a spiritual being having a human experience of expansion on your journey toward your source. That's who you are.
I love that. I love that. I am very, very curious. I love everything you're talking about, the layers. Like,
Mhm.
my God, I feel like a kid, like, but why? But why? But why? You know how they never like, sometimes I'm like that. I keep asking until I
Mhm.
find the real root of the essence of what I'm trying to learn. Now,
Mhm.
you are a chiropractor, right?
Mhm.
How does it fit into the breakthrough process? What have you seen in people that you were treating before that the breakthrough process can help them with?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, Furley. Um, what I saw in it, I was incredibly disenchanted being a chiropractor. I was giving patients everything I knew to make them better, and they came back the next week with the same thing, with the same complaint. And I kept asking myself, okay, what else is in there? And then from even while I was studying, I was exploring the emotional causes of physical diseases.
Hmm.
And so I addressed the emotional causes mostly. Of course, I did the chiropractic treatment and the nutritional aspect and all of that, but it was my emphasis was on the emotions. But I also found that they were stuck in their emotions. They couldn't get past that. They could find some um, temporary relief, but not anything more permanent. And I kept going deeper and deeper. I went into energy medicine, aligning our energetic bodies with our emotional and physical bodies. And then uh, eventually it became the results that I was seeing on my patients were more lasting. Yet I knew that there was something else. And I just kept looking and looking. And then I came across the breakthrough process, which I find unbelievably powerful. It's very simple, but it's not easy because you have to face your demons. You have
Hmm.
to face your demons. You have to face the limitations, all the lies that you believed about yourself. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. These are painful truths, not truths. These are painful false beliefs that we accumulated usually during our first 7 years. And these were programs that were installed in us by well meaning parents, guardians, teachers. They didn't know any better. And they were doing whatever they did out of their own pain. And a lot of our limiting beliefs started then. So that's what the breakthrough process does. It unveils the limiting beliefs, and it allows you to take the 18-inch journey from the head through the emotions to the heart, in which you tell the truth about yourself. You
My
are a limitless, powerful being.
eight, what did you say? 18 what?
18-inch journey from the
Wow,
head through the emotions into the heart.
18-inch journey. Oh my goodness. Now, that sounds really very profound. Like I could just imagine people going through this breakthrough process with you, how much courage it takes to face your truth and stop, the lies, and how do you reprogram beliefs that have been installed in us for so many years? Like, it's that it became almost second nature. How do you
Yeah.
reprogram us?
Yeah, that is a layering process, Furley, because as we go through the process, we uncover the limiting beliefs. And of course, we do the breakthrough, and you're like, oh, I'm good now. And then, of course, since you are good, you are going to be tested. Do you really believe that? Is this true for you now? Because we have done the wrong thing for so long that the right thing feels wrong, and what we believe to be true is true for us, even if it's not true. It's
The right
incredible.
I had to stop for a moment and let that sink in. Sometimes, like I love what you just said, because like it made me stop for a moment. Like we almost feel that the right thing feels wrong because we are so used to doing things
Yeah.
wrong. So wow, what a
And you
powerful.
said you said something on a previous podcast that I took notes. Your prism is your prison. And I'm
Right.
like, absolutely. The way you see life, your angle on life is what keeps you stuck. So, what the breakthrough process allows you to do is shift your perspective. And once you shift that perspective, of course, you are going to get tested on it. So, you send out the ripples of the new belief, and then your ego, the environment is going to say, okay, do you truly believe that? Let's just see. And then something else will come that will trigger that same old belief. And then we're like, oh, now I have a choice. I can go and take that magic carpet out into hell, or I can stay in heaven. And sometimes it happens so fast you don't even know that you're already back in hell.
It's so funny because as you're talking, it's like, okay, I'm running all of this picture of what hell looks like, in the margin carpet. It's so amazing. You know, I love this, and I would love for you to share with the audience,
Mhm.
how can they have a taste of what it feels like to have a breakthrough? Where can they reach you actually so they can experience this coaching with you?
Oh, okay. Thank you. They can reach me at earthwakingvillage.com, and you will find me there, and you can message me there. And
In the chat.
um, I'm sorry.
We will put that way there. I'm sure there will be people. How do
On
you
the
spell
chat.
that?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we'll just
yes,
put it on the chat. Yes, yes.
yes. Thank you. I can put that on the chat, and I can also put my email there if people have questions. But I do lead a breakthrough training program, Furley, and this is what is so exciting, because I have seen people transform and transcend incredibly dark events in their lives.
Do you have
Like,
any events that you're going, like a group event that you'd like to share with the audience and invite them to?
uh, well, yeah, like in my own case, for the longest time, I had the belief that no matter what I did, I could not change the outcome of anything. So I tried to be good. I tried to be service. I tried to be the good daughter, the good wife, the good sister, and the outcome wasn't changing. And through the breakthrough process, I came to realize that the outcome was perfect.
Mm.
There is nothing
Actually,
wrong
I
with
know
the
what
world.
your journey is, but I wanted to know. Maybe we were having a choppy connection. I wanted you to share with the audience if you have any special events, a group coaching program that's available for them to plug into.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I do have a group training that I call the Family Tree, healing the world one family at a time, because that is where most of our false beliefs started, with our families, with our dysfunctional relationships with our parents, with our siblings, with our guardians, because not everybody comes from a family with parents, they come from foster homes, and with our
Mm.
peers. And in many cases, there is a lot of abuse, there is a lot of sexual abuse, there is a lot of bullying. And the breakthrough process addresses each and every one of these things: the relationships with father, relationships with mother, relationship with siblings or peers or guardians. And this is what I was mentioning just before with the breakthrough training that I do for the Earthwaking Village. I have seen ladies, right now the group is female only. Many times I have males in the group, but right now there are only females, overcoming, transcending history of sexual abuse as children that created drug and alcohol addictions later in life. I have seen ladies coming from the verge of suicide back to, no, this is not, this is definitely not the way to go. And it's incredibly powerful to see them, which is even more interesting when one person starts having a breakthrough and the other members in the group all see themselves in that breakthrough, and they all get elevated. Oh, that just makes my heart sing. That just
Oh my
makes my
God.
heart sing.
I'm sure, like I celebrate you. I celebrate your community with Jonathan England because I have
Thank you.
interviewed some Vashon as well. And,
Yes.
can only speak about all the amazing transformations that all of you have been through. You have been through four different countries. Now tell me, now that you are in Costa Rica, what have you found? Have you found finally your freedom? How have you changed?
Yes, I have. It's interesting because Costa Rica is very much like the Brazil I grew up in as a child. Of course, Brazil changed tremendously during my lifetime, but Costa Rica, it still has that same laid back pace, friendly pace that I grew up with. And
Mm.
I love that. I love all the green around me, all the wild birds that I see on a daily basis. So this is all very wonderful. Also, the language is close to Portuguese, my native language, so that's also wonderful. And because of the breakthrough process, which I continue to do, because you don't take a shower one day and say 5 years later, I took a shower 5 years ago. It doesn't quite work that way. So it's the same with the breakthrough process. You have to do it on a regular basis, hopefully daily, because every time you feel triggered, every time you feel annoyed, every time you feel frustrated, every time you feel anything other than peace, love, and joy, you are living inside an illusion that you created. So it behooves us to find out why someone says something, and all of a sudden you are in a bad mood. Why? It's what Jonathan says, it's the pink polka dotted socks. If I tell you, Furley, I just hate your pink polka dotted socks, you will look at me and say, Chrys, you're crazy. I don't even have a pink polka dotted socks. What are you talking about? But if I tell you, Furley, I hate the way you are lazy. You are so damn lazy. I can't stand it. And they're like, what? I am not lazy. Why are you saying that? That's your trigger. So, what's behind that trigger? When was it caused? When did you start believing it? Because I can tell you, you are lazy, no, to the cows come home. If you do not take that belief on, it will not stick. I can say whatever I want.
Let's talk about you, Chris. I'm
Yeah,
dying to know, have you found freedom?
yes. And it's a daily process because I still go back into being moody. I still go back into being irritated. I still go back into being frustrated and many times angry and sad. It's hard not to be sad when I see so much dysfunction going on in the world. And yet, this is exactly what needs to happen for the human race to evolve. So every time I bring myself to that, it's like, yeah, the whole universe is perfect. God created the world in 7 days, and when He looked at His creation, He judged it and said, it's good. But
You
we
know,
see it as
I
imperfect.
I feel and I sense that your sense of freedom also comes from a lot of your power in liberating others from their
Yes,
limiting beliefs and all that. And so it becomes like a collective and exponential freedom.
yes,
And I love that. You certainly have a powerful message to share with the world, a powerful tool for people to be able to achieve breakthroughs so they can
yes,
begin to feel sovereignty in their lives and take
absolutely.
control. Well, it's that time. Any one last tip that people can implement right now that could help them move towards a breakthrough.
hmm I would leave them with, how can I see this from the eyes of love? If everything is perfect and everything is love, how can I see this through the eyes of love? Whatever this is, it could be a broken marriage, it could be an addiction. How can I see this through the eyes of love? That starts your breakthrough process.
I love it. As you are saying it, I have a song playing in my head, Looking Through the Eyes of Love, that song from the
Yes,
Ice Castles. So
yes,
if you could not remember the lesson, just remember the song, and then it will just take you back into that place of love. Chris,
yes.
it has been an absolute blessing to be, enlightened by your gift, and
Oh,
also to
thank
be
you.
empowered by your message. So thank you so very much. We are going to put on the chat and the comments. We are streaming live on Facebook right now, and of course, this is going to be on YouTube as well. So we are able to share this message. If you or somebody are going through a funk in your life, like you feel like I have everything, but I feel like something's missing. I feel imprisoned in my own world. I would reach out to Chris because she will be able to help you see your life in 7 different layers and and begin to basically chip away what you no longer are. All right. Until next time, this is Furley Almonte, your host for Faces of Resilience. Remember, live life through the eyes of love. Take care.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much, Freddie. This was a blessing. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.